Okay, so the objectives for this video, it's just one actually, to combine a motion tween with a frame-by-frame animation. Now in order to do this, hopefully you have already done the previous step, which was to create a walking figure using a frame-by-frame animation, because that's what we're adding the motion tween to. So if you haven't done that, click on the link here to go back to that tutorial, and then you can continue with this one. Okay, last thing we're going to do here is we're going to add on a little motion tween. I feel as though this guy could really use a hat, so what I'm going to do is rename my layer 1 to figure, and make a new layer, and then call this one hat. And I'm going to use the drawing tools. I'll just use the rectangle and make a little top hat for him. Ballpark it, sort of the size of his head. Now you're going to find that this does a lot of snapping. So sometimes it's even easier to just sort of draw something and then put it into place. I'm going to use the cursors here. There we go. And then what you should do, modify, convert to symbol, and I'm going to call this one hat. And I'm going to put it on his head. There we go. Looks pretty good there. So what I'm going to need to do here, though, is I don't want to do a frame-by-frame animation where it follows every frame on his head. So what I'm going to do is Control-click on frame 1 and create a motion tween, just like we've done in a previous animation. And then go to the last frame and then put it on his head. There we go. Now you're going to see when you go through this animation that sometimes it loses him. Now you can do one of two things this way. So you can either change your motion tween so that it always follows his head, or you can decide, well, maybe I've moved too far here, and then move your character back. So you can actually use this as a guide to how fast your character should be moving, because if we wanted a smooth sort of pace for him, then he should naturally always sort of be with his hat, which is not what is happening here. The other thing that we can do is periodically you may want to change the position of the hat, and then it'll put an extra keyframe in and bend its motion. But you'll notice that it also changes previous frames that it was working on. So go through your animation, try and get the hat lined up by either moving the character or moving the hat on every frame, and then you can move on to the challenge for this chapter of Flash CS5. So what we did in this video was we combined a motion tween with a frame-by-frame animation. Now, we've learned all of the basics of Flash. So what you're going to be asked to complete now is the Chapter 8 challenge, which can be found in the next video. And this is something that will get you to combine some of the skills that you've already learned, and also help you remember how to do these steps before you move on to more difficult work with Flash.